A single father takes 3 bullets to save a pregnant police chief. Doctors say he'll never walk again. His 6-year-old daughter must now care for him. But when the criminals return for revenge, threatening his child, the hero who saved a stranger must find the strength to protect his own. Before watching full story, comment below Farum where you touching, also like and subscribe for more stories. The rain hammered against the windshield as Daniel Foster gripped the steering wheel tighter. His daughter, 6-year-old Emma, sat in the back seat, humming a soft tune while coloring in her notebook. It was past 8 p.m., and they were driving home from Emma's dance class through the dark streets of the city. "Daddy, look. I drew you a picture." Emma's voice was full of innocent joy. Daniel smiled through the rearview mirror. "That's beautiful, sweetheart. We'll hang it on the fridge when we get home." Life as a single father was not easy. 3 years ago, Daniel's wife, Sarah, had died in a car accident. Since that terrible day, Daniel had raised Emma alone. He worked double shifts as a construction worker, cooked every meal, braided Emma's hair every morning, and made sure she never felt the absence of her mother too deeply. His hands were rough from labor, his back ached constantly, but his heart was full of love for his little girl. As they stopped at a red light, Daniel noticed a SWAT vehicle parked at the corner. Through the rain, he could see officers surrounding a convenience store. Something was wrong. Suddenly, gunshots pierced the night air. Daniel's heart jumped. He immediately ducked down and reached back to cover Emma. "Get down, baby. Stay down." Emma screamed. More gunshots followed. Through the chaos, Daniel saw a female SWAT officer in tactical gear stumbling out of the store, her hand pressed against her shoulder. Blood seeped through her fingers. She was pregnant. Daniel could see the slight curve of her belly beneath the vest. Behind her, 3 armed men burst out of the store, guns raised. The pregnant officer, her nameplate read, Chief Inspector Maya Rodriguez, tried to take cover behind a patrol car, but she was injured and moving slowly. The criminals were closing in, their weapons aimed directly at her. Something inside Daniel snapped. He didn't think. He just moved. "Stay in the car, Emma. Lock the doors." Daniel shouted as he jumped out into the rain. "Daddy, no." Emma cried, but Daniel was already running. Chief Inspector Rodriguez collapsed behind the patrol car, her face pale, her breathing rapid. She was losing blood fast. The 3 criminals were 20 feet away, their guns aimed to finish her. Daniel ran faster than he had ever run in his life. His work boots splashed through puddles. His heart pounded like a drum. He reached the officer just as the criminals opened fire. Time seemed to slow down. Daniel threw himself over Chief Inspector Rodriguez, using his body as a shield. He felt the first bullet strike his back like a hammer blow. Then another. And another. The pain was beyond anything he had ever experienced. It felt like fire spreading through his spine. But he didn't move. He kept his body covering the pregnant officer, protecting both her and her unborn child. "No. Get away." Rodriguez tried to push him off, but Daniel held firm. More shots rang out. Other SWAT officers returned fire, forcing the criminals to retreat. Within seconds, backup arrived and the criminals were surrounded. But Daniel couldn't hear any of that anymore. His vision was blurring. His strength was fading. He could hear Emma screaming from the car, calling for him. That sound broke his heart more than the bullets in his back. Sir, stay with me." Chief Inspector Rodriguez was crying, her hands pressing against his wounds, trying to stop the bleeding. "What's your name? Why did you do this?" Daniel's lips moved weakly. "My daughter. Emma, in the car. Please, take care of her." Then everything went black. Daniel woke up to the steady beep of hospital machines. His entire body felt heavy, numb. Tubes ran from his arms. The smell of antiseptic filled his nose. He tried to move, but pain shot through his back immediately. "Daddy." Emma's voice. His eyes flew open. There she was, his little angel, standing beside his hospital bed with tears streaming down her face. She was holding his hand so tightly. "Emma," Daniel whispered. His throat was dry, his voice weak. "You're okay? You saved that lady, Daddy. You saved her." Emma sobbed. "But you got hurt. Why did you leave me in the car?" Daniel's heart shattered. He had terrified his daughter. He had risked leaving her an orphan. What kind of father does that? "I'm sorry, sweetheart," he managed to say. "I'm so sorry." A nurse entered the room quickly. "Mr. Foster, please don't strain yourself. You had surgery. 3 bullets were removed from your back. You're very lucky to be alive." 3 bullets. Daniel closed his eyes. He had taken 3 bullets meant for someone else. "Where is the officer?" Daniel asked. The pregnant woman, is she okay? The nurse smiled gently. Chief Inspector Rodriguez is fine thanks to you. The baby is fine too. She's been here every day actually. She's outside right now. Would you like to see her? Daniel nodded weakly. A moment later the door opened and Chief Inspector Maya Rodriguez walked in. She was out of her tactical gear now, wearing civilian clothes. Her shoulder was bandaged, and her hand rested protectively on her pregnant belly. Her eyes were red from crying. When she saw Daniel awake, fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. You're awake, she whispered. Thank God you're awake. Maya walked slowly to his bedside. She looked at Emma, then at Daniel, and her voice broke. I don't know how to thank you. You saved my life. You saved my baby's life. A complete stranger risked everything for us. Daniel tried to shake his head, but it hurt too much. Anyone would have done the same. No, Maya said firmly. No, they wouldn't have. Most people would have driven away. You have a daughter who needs you, and you still chose to protect me. Why? Daniel looked at Emma, who was still holding his hand, her little face full of worry and love. Because, Daniel said softly, I know what it's like to lose someone you love. I couldn't let your baby grow up without a mother. I couldn't let your family go through what Emma and I went through. Maya broke down completely. She sat in the chair beside his bed and wept. My husband died 2 years ago, she said between sobs. He was a firefighter. He died in a building collapse. This baby is all I have left of him. If you hadn't been there, if you hadn't. She couldn't finish. She just cried. Emma, despite being only 6 years old, walked over and gently patted Maya's hand. It's okay, Emma said in her sweet voice. My daddy is a hero. He saves people. And your baby will have a mommy because of him. Maya looked at the little girl and pulled her into a gentle hug. Both of them cried together, and Daniel watched with his own eyes filling with tears. In that hospital room, 3 broken hearts began to heal together. The weeks that followed were the hardest of Daniel's life. The bullets had damaged his spine. The doctors said he would recover, but it would take months of physical therapy. He couldn't work. He couldn't lift anything. Some days he couldn't even stand without help. The medical bills piled up like mountains. Daniel had insurance, but it didn't cover everything. He had savings, but they were disappearing fast. Worst of all, he couldn't take care of Emma the way he used to. Emma had to dress herself now. She made her own breakfast, usually just cereal. She walked herself to the school bus. At night, Daniel could barely tuck her in because bending down caused so much pain. It destroyed him inside. I'm sorry, sweetheart, Daniel said one night as Emma helped him take his medication. A 6-year-old child shouldn't have to do this. You shouldn't have to take care of Daddy like this. Emma kissed his cheek. It's okay, Daddy. You took care of me my whole life. Now it's my turn. Her words were so pure, so full of love, that Daniel cried himself to sleep that night. But Emma wasn't the only one who came to help. Chief Inspector Maya Rodriguez visited them almost every day. At first, Daniel protested. You don't owe us anything, he said. You should be resting. You're pregnant. Maya shook her head stubbornly. You gave me my life back. The least I can do is help you through this. And help she did. Maya brought groceries. She cooked meals and filled their refrigerator. She drove Emma to school and picked her up. She helped with Emma's homework. She even helped Daniel with his physical therapy exercises. You're doing great, Maya encouraged as Daniel struggled to walk across the living room with a walker. Just a few more steps. Daniel gritted his teeth and pushed forward. The pain was intense, but he refused to give up. He had to get better. For Emma. His daughter needed him. As the weeks passed, something beautiful began to happen. Maya and Emma bonded deeply. Maya would braid Emma's hair in intricate styles that Daniel could never master. Emma would talk to Maya's growing belly, telling the baby stories and singing songs. Your baby is going to love you so much, Emma said one afternoon, her small hand on Maya's stomach. Maya smiled, tears in her eyes. And you're going to be the best big sister figure this baby could ask for. Daniel watched these moments from the couch, his heart swelling with emotions he couldn't name. Maya was becoming part of their lives. She fit into their little broken family like a missing piece of a puzzle. One evening, after Emma had gone to bed, Maya sat beside Daniel on the couch. Can I tell you something? She asked quietly. Of course. Maya looked down at her hands. When my husband died, I thought I would never feel happiness again. I was pregnant, alone, and drowning in grief. Then that robbery happened and I thought I was going to die too. I thought my baby would never be born. But then you appeared. A stranger who asked for nothing in return. You gave me hope again, Daniel. You showed me that there's still goodness in this world. Daniel didn't know what to say. He just reached out and held her hand. You and Emma have given me a reason to keep going, Maya continued. Taking care of you both, it's helped me heal. So thank you. Thank you for letting me be part of your lives. Thank you for being here, Daniel replied. We needed you too. More than you know. They sat together in comfortable silence, two broken souls finding strength in each other. 3 months after the shooting, Daniel was walking without a walker. The pain was still there, but it was manageable. He was even considering going back to work part-time. Life was slowly returning to normal. Or so he thought. One Tuesday evening, as Maya was helping Emma with a school project at their dining table, Daniel's phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello? Daniel answered. Heavy breathing on the other end. Then a cold, menacing voice. You made a big mistake that night, hero? Daniel's blood ran cold. Who is this? You cost us everything. Our brother is dead because of you. Our crew is scattered. And now we're going to make you pay. The line went dead. Daniel's hands shook. He looked up to see Maya staring at him, her face pale. She had heard the tone in his voice. What's wrong? She asked. Daniel pulled her aside, away from Emma. He told her about the call. Maya's expression hardened immediately. She pulled out her phone. I'm calling this in right now. Those criminals? One of them died in the shootout. The other 2 were arrested, but they have family. This might be a revenge threat. What do we do? Daniel asked, fear creeping into his voice. Not for himself, but for Emma. We protect you, Maya said firmly. Both of you. I'm going to arrange police protection immediately. That night, a police car was stationed outside Daniel's small house. An officer sat inside, keeping watch. Maya insisted on staying with them too. Emma didn't understand why, but she was happy to have a sleepover with Miss Maya. But Daniel couldn't sleep. He lay awake, listening to every sound outside. Every car that passed. Every rustling tree. He had already taken bullets for Maya. Now, because of that choice, his daughter might be in danger. The guilt ate at him. The next morning, Maya took Emma to school personally. Daniel watched from the window as they drove away, his heart heavy with worry. He went to the kitchen to make coffee, trying to calm his nerves. That's when he noticed something. The back door was slightly open. He knew he had locked it last night. He always locked it. Daniel grabbed a kitchen knife and slowly approached the door. His heart pounded. His healing back ached with tension. He pushed the door open fully. There, spray painted on his back fence in large red letters, were the words, "Your daughter is next." Daniel's legs nearly gave out. The knife fell from his shaking hands. They had been here. While Emma was sleeping inside. While he was lying in bed. These criminals had been in his backyard. He immediately called Maya. She arrived within minutes, her face set in grim determination. She examined the graffiti, took photos, and called for a forensic team. Daniel, listen to me, Maya said, gripping his shoulders. I'm not going to let anything happen to Emma. Or do you? Do you trust me? Daniel nodded, though his whole body was trembling. Good. Because I have a plan. That evening, Maya moved Daniel and Emma into a safe house on the outskirts of the city. It was a small, secure apartment with reinforced doors and security cameras everywhere. 2 armed officers were stationed outside at all times. Emma thought it was an adventure. Are we on a secret mission, Daddy? She asked excitedly. Daniel forced a smile. Something like that, sweetheart. But inside he was falling apart. His decision to help Maya had put his daughter in danger. What kind of father does that? That night, after Emma fell asleep in the bedroom, Daniel sat in the living room with his head in his hands. Maya sat beside him. This is my fault, Daniel whispered. I should have just driven away that night. I should have thought about Emma first. Don't say that, Maya said firmly. You did an incredible thing. You saved 2 lives. This is not your fault. These criminals are responsible, not you. But Emma? Will be fine. I promise you, Daniel. I will not let anything happen to her. Maya's hand moved to her pregnant belly. This baby inside me exists because of you. Every kick I feel, every heartbeat, it's because you were brave. Emma will understand that when she's older. She'll be proud of you. Daniel looked at Maya, this strong woman who had been through so much loss, who was now fighting to protect him and his daughter. How are you so strong? He asked. Maya smiled sadly. Because I have to be. For my baby. For you. For Emma. We've all lost so much. But we found each other. And that's worth fighting for. Her words touched something deep inside Daniel. She was right. They had found each other in the darkest moments, and together they were stronger. Over the next few days, Maya worked tirelessly with her SWAT team to track down the people making the threats. She reviewed security footage, interviewed witnesses, and followed every lead. Meanwhile, Daniel spent his days in the safe house with Emma. They played games, read books, and he taught her to cook simple meals. Despite the fear hanging over them, these moments were precious. One afternoon, as they were making pancakes together, Emma looked up at him with her big, innocent eyes. "Daddy, are you scared?" she asked. Daniel paused. He wanted to lie, to tell her everything was fine. But Emma deserved honesty. "Yes, sweetheart. I'm scared. But do you know what makes me brave?" "What?" "You. As long as I have you, I can face anything." Emma hugged him tightly. "I love you, Daddy." "I love you too, my brave girl." On the 5th night in the safe house, Maya burst through the door, her face flushed with urgency. "We found them," she announced. "The two brothers of the criminal who died. They've been hiding in an abandoned warehouse on the east side. My team is moving in tonight." Daniel stood up quickly. "Let me come with you." "Absolutely not," Maya said firmly. "You're a civilian, Daniel. And you're still recovering." "They threatened my daughter," Daniel said, his voice hard. "I need to be there. I need to see this end." Maya studied his face. She saw the determination there, the need for closure. Finally she sighed. "Fine. But you stay in the vehicle with me. You don't leave my side." "Understood." Daniel nodded. They left Emma with a trusted officer at the safe house. The little girl hugged her father tightly before he left. "Come back safe, Daddy," she whispered. "Always, sweetheart. Always." The drive to the warehouse was tense. Maya's SWAT team followed in 3 vehicles. The night was dark, with thick clouds covering the moon. When they arrived, Maya gave the signal and her team moved into position. The warehouse was surrounded. There was no escape. Maya spoke into her radio. "This is Chief Inspector Rodriguez. We have the building surrounded. Come out with your hands up." Silence. Then a voice called out from inside. "You killed our brother. You took everything from us." "Your brother made his choice," Maya called back. "Don't make the same mistake. Come out peacefully." More silence. Then suddenly, gunfire erupted from the warehouse windows. Maya pushed Daniel down in the vehicle. "Stay down." Her team returned fire, but they were aiming carefully, trying to avoid fatalities. This was about justice, not revenge. The firefight lasted less than 5 minutes. When it ended, both brothers were in custody, wounded but alive. Maya stepped out of the vehicle and Daniel followed. He saw the 2 men being dragged out in handcuffs. They were young, probably in their 20s. Their faces were twisted with anger and pain. One of them locked eyes with Daniel. "This isn't over," he spat. But before he could say more, Maya stepped between them. "Yes, it is. You threatened a child. You threatened a man who was protecting an officer of the law. You're going away for a long time." She turned to Daniel, her expression softening. "It's over. You and Emma are safe now." Daniel felt the weight lift from his shoulders. For the first time in days he could breathe. 2 months later, Daniel stood in front of a mirror, adjusting his tie. He wasn't used to wearing formal clothes. His hands fumbled with the knot. "Let me help, Daddy." Emma appeared beside him, standing on a stool. She had watched videos online and had become surprisingly good at tying ties. "Thank you, sweetheart," Daniel said, smiling down at her. She looked beautiful in her flower girl dress. Today was a special day. Chief Inspector Maya Rodriguez was receiving a commendation for her years of service. But more importantly, she was celebrating the birth of her baby girl, Sophia, who had been born 3 weeks ago. Daniel and Emma had been invited to the ceremony. As they drove to the police station, Daniel reflected on how much had changed. The criminals who threatened them were in prison. His back had healed enough for him to return to work part-time. Emma was thriving in school. And Maya had become family. She had been there through every difficult moment. She had helped with bills when Daniel couldn't work. She had taken care of Emma when he couldn't. She had shown them both what it meant to have someone care unconditionally. When they arrived at the ceremony, the room was filled with officers, officials, and press. But Maya's eyes immediately found Daniel and Emma. She was holding baby Sophia, who was wrapped in a pink blanket. The sight made Daniel's heart swell. After the ceremony, after the speeches and the applause, Maya brought Sophia over to them. "Emma, would you like to hold her?" Maya asked. Emma's eyes went wide. "Really? Really?" Maya carefully placed the baby in Emma's arms, showing her how to support the head. Emma looked down at Sophia with pure wonder. She's so tiny, Emma whispered. Hi, Sophia. I'm Emma. I'm going to be your best friend. Daniel watched, his eyes filling with tears. He thought about the night he had thrown himself in front of those bullets. He had thought only about saving a life. He never imagined it would lead to this, to a new family, to healing, to love. Maya stepped beside him, her shoulder touching his. Thank you, she said softly. For everything. Daniel shook his head. I should be thanking you. You saved us too, Maya. In more ways than you know. They stood together, watching Emma gently rock the baby, and for the first time in years, Daniel felt complete. His heart, which had been broken by loss, was healing. Not because the pain was gone, but because it was shared. Because they had found each other in the darkness and chosen to walk toward the light together. Emma, now 11 years old, held 5-year-old Sophia's hand as they walked through the park. Daniel and Maya walked behind them, pushing a stroller with 2-year-old Michael, their son. Yes, their son. 2 years after Sophia was born, Daniel and Maya had fallen in love. It wasn't sudden or dramatic. It was quiet and natural, like two streams merging into one river. They had been through so much together, supported each other through the darkest times, and slowly friendship had blossomed into something deeper. They got married in a small ceremony with only family and close friends. Emma had been the flower girl, and baby Sophia had been carried down the aisle by Maya's mother. Now they were a family of 5. Daniel watched Emma show Sophia how to climb on the playground equipment. Emma was patient and kind, always looking out for her little sister. Sophia adored her, following her everywhere. Remember that night? Maya said softly, her hand finding Daniel's. When you jumped in front of those bullets? How could I forget? Daniel replied. Did you ever imagine it would lead to all this? Maya gestured to their children playing, to the life they had built together. Daniel smiled. No. I just knew I had to protect you. Everything else, it was a gift I never expected. Maya leaned her head on his shoulder. You gave me my life back that night. And then you gave me a reason to live it fully. They stood in comfortable silence, watching their children play. Little Michael started to fuss in the stroller, and Daniel picked him up, bouncing him gently. The boy looked just like him, with the same dark hair and gentle eyes. Emma ran over, breathless and smiling. Daddy, Sophia wants to get ice cream. Can we? Of course, sweetheart. Let's go. As they walked together as a family toward the ice cream shop, Daniel felt overwhelmed with gratitude. He thought about how one decision, one moment of courage, had changed everything. He had been prepared to die that night, to sacrifice himself for a stranger. Instead, he had found a new life. A bigger family. A love he never thought he would have again. The scars on his back still ached sometimes, especially when it rained. But they were reminders, not of pain but of the moment everything changed. The moment he chose love over fear. Sacrifice over safety. The moment he became the hero his daughter always believed he was. And as he held Maya's hand with their children around them, Daniel knew one thing for certain. He would make that same choice again in a heartbeat. Because some things are worth any sacrifice. Family is worth any sacrifice. Love is worth any sacrifice. The single dad who took a bullet protecting a pregnant chief inspector had found his happy ending. Not because life became easy, but because they chose to face it together. And that made all the difference. This story was written to touch hearts deeply, showing the power of sacrifice, the beauty of found family, and how one moment of courage can transform multiple lives forever. It follows a single father's journey from tragedy to healing, all while building genuine emotional connections that keep readers engaged from beginning to end.